Fam, what's up? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. I literally just got in from Tampa. This morning, my flight left at 5 a.m. Tampa, Atlanta, back to work. There's a lot to dive into. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. I want to get your take on this Alabama team. Good morning to you. Good day. It's almost 12. My schedule for today goes like this, okay? We're going to talk Alabama football, what we learned, part one. That is going to last for the next hour or so. And then I'm going to head to watch the 49ers game with my son, Buffalo Wild Wings, at 3 p.m. And then I'll start my evening show at 6 p.m. and we'll go deep. We'll go heavy, all right? So I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. A good place to start out with, and I put a poll inside the comment box. Who should start against Ole Miss, Jalen Milroe or Ty Simpson? Let's start out with just looking at the offensive statistics, okay? Bring that to full screen, and as we dive into the full screen analytics of this game, and I do have the Pro Football Focus grades. That is me full screen. Call line is at the very bottom of your screen. See 205-850-1994. I'm going to write that down inside the comment box as well, so you guys can call in, all right? I got a few lines open today. The good thing was the running game was solidified in the back end of the game. Roydell Williams with 129 yards. Thought that was a bright spot of this game. Someone said, I'm tired of you talking about the special teams being a bright spot. Finally, we got the running back to talk about, right? Roydell Williams, 129 yards off 17 carries. Got to let these running backs eat. You know, I said that on social media, and it's true. Jace McClellan, I think he's running hard. He has 74 yards off 13 carries. In total, Alabama ran the football 42 times for 240 yards, a net total of 203 yards with 2 touchdowns, an average of 4.8 yards per rush. Tyler Buckner, okay? He came in and, yeah, we will talk about the pass rush, the terrible pass rush, but we're talking about the stats right now. So let's talk about the statistics from the game, and then we'll talk about the players and all that, all right? So let's just kind of get to it. And we will show those Pro Football Focus grades as well. Tyler Buckner came in and started this game for Alabama. He was 5 of 14, 34 yards. His longest pass was 13 yards. Ty Simpson comes in. And Coach Saban said he managed the game, managed the back end of the game. And he was 5 of 9, 73 yards. His longest was a 45-yard connection with C.J. Dupree. Thought he threw the ball right on the money. I liked it. The downside with Simpson is, did you guys notice this? I want to ask you, did you notice how he kept looking over literally the entire time at the sideline waiting for the play? Literally, he'd just be like looking the entire time, and then he'd come back and snap. I mean, you got to know, what's going on. You got to take command. He was sacked 5 times. Man, there was a couple times that he took some big hits. And just wait till you see Caden Proctor's grade. Ty Simpson finishes out just 5 of 9, 73 yards. Receiving wise, Isaiah Bond, he was targeted 8 times. Hauled in 4 receptions for 42 yards. C.J. Dupree targeted twice. 1 reception for 40. Look at that receiving, those stats. God, that's sad. How can they be wideouts if you can't get them the football, right? Jermaine Burton, 1 reception. It was targeted 4 times. Jace McClellan, 1 reception. Robbie Oots, 1 reception. Roydell Williams, 1 reception. Malik Benson, 1 reception. Ja'Cory Brooks, no catches. Kobe Prentice, who we've been playing on fire, no catches. South Florida on the right of your screen. Brown had 23 carries for 92 yards, almost hit the 100-yard mark. Guy was a squirrely quarterback to try to wrap up, right? 14 to 28 passing, 87 yards. He was also sacked 5 times, so Alabama did get to the quarterback. I mean, some of that was coverage imposed. Some of that was him running around back in the backfield. Sean Atkins hauled in 6 receptions for just 42 yards. So those are the offensive statistics from the game. What's up? I appreciate you guys joining me, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Let's look at the defensive statistics real quick. against South Florida. And then we'll kind of dive into a little bit more, and I'll show you guys the Pro Football Focus grades, and we can continue to chop it up. And then I'll take your calls for this next hour or so, and then I'm going to go watch that football game. The 49ers are playing at 3. They play the Rams. So here are the defensive statistics. Let me pull that up full screen. All right, let's look at these. Okay, so here are the stats, and I'll put that full screen. You got Deontay Lawson up at the top left. You had 10 total tackles, and you have Tim Smith. He had 9 tackles. Wow. I didn't realize Tim Smith had that many tackles yesterday. Then you had Malachi Moore. You have Terran Arnold, who each had 8. You have Dallas Turner had 7. Chris Braswell had 7. Jahad Campbell had 7. Mabogbe had 5. There's a bunch of tackles out there. Tackles for loss. Let's see. Looks like Braswell had 3 tackles for loss. And the interception was by Malachi Moore. That was later in the game. Kind of, ended that game, so to speak. So there's your defensive statistics. You guys want to look at the Pro Football Focus grades? You guys want to wait? Let me know in the comment box. They're not good. Call line is open. While you guys answer me, I'll take our first call, and the call line is 205-850-1994. And with that said, let's go to the 256. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Danny Caller from Tuscaloosa.
Hey, what's up, Denny? I appreciate you calling in, man. What's on your mind, man? Welcome to the show.
Man, it's so much on my mind. I just don't know where to start. But, man, I've noticed. This is what I'm telling people. I don't know where Saban's getting these recruits from, but he better start getting boys from Alabama, straight up from the state. I mean, Lawson, Rodell Williams, Kool-Aid, and Malachi Moore are the best players right now, and they're from Alabama. Dallas Turner's not doing nothing. Chris Boswell's not doing nothing. The O-line definitely not doing nothing. I don't know what I just don't know where he get them boys from, because, my goodness, they about to get Ty Simpson back broken.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on, man? I just never seen this before.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what to start. Like, the quarterback situation, you just got to stick with Jalen, because that's the best option. Yeah, he messed up against Texas, but you got to also look, those 2 takeaways, those penalties were those touchdowns, that was him.
Yeah.
And that's not his fault. That was the offensive line fault. And Alabama should have won that game, but, I mean, I just don't know. Like, this team has to get themselves together, because if we playing like this, and Ole Miss is coming next week, Ole Miss is just going to blitz, because they're going to look at all the filming, and they're going to say, okay, all we got to do is just blitz them.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, the offensive line, my goodness. I mean, as much as we hyped them up and they were the biggest offensive line in college football and all this stuff, it's just been this offensive line has just been anything but good, right? I mean, I get it. Tyler Booker didn't play yesterday. Coach Saban said he had some back spasms or whatever it was. But like you said, like poor Ty Simpson comes in. Man, Caden Proctor, I don't know if he's ready, fam. I really don't. He slid off a defender on the backside, and Ty Simpson got obliterated. I saw someone in one of our comments said, maybe you should slide J.C. Latham to the left tackle. I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, right now, because Caden Proctor. Let me show you. Let me show you the Pro Football Focus grades. Okay, I'm gonna read these out for everybody. Okay, so these are the Pro Football Focus grades. If you're new to Pro Football Focus, these are grades after the game done by former coaches that played at the college and NFL level, and then after they put the grades for everybody to look. So as you can see up top, let's just walk you through the top part. Okay, so you have Caden Proctor. He played, the star indicates that he was a starter at left tackle. He played in 66 snaps, total mean snaps. And then if you look to the far right, his grade was a 58.8. Think of these grades more like an F is kind of like a D, and like a B is like an A. But still, I mean, 58.8, I mean, clearly you can see that he's one of the lowest graded players. Actually, the lowest graded player was Jermaine Burton, or I'm sorry, the lowest graded player was actually Tyler Buckner down at the bottom of your screen with a 50.8 in 26 snaps. 50.8, my goodness. Darian Dalacourt, who's also played at right guard, he had a 60.6. Seth McLaughlin, he had a 56.4. Caden Proctor, 58 point. I mean, it's just like the offensive line clearly struggling. We're on with Danny from Tuscaloosa. I mean, it's just not it. I mean, this offensive line just clearly. I mean, is Wolford going to make some changes? Maybe they slide JC. I mean, you're saying just get dudes from Alabama. I don't know, Danny. I mean, the offensive line, and you're right. If I'm Ole Miss and I'm Pete Golding, who's coming in, Pete Golding and Lane Kiffin, right? Both under Saban, they know exactly what to do. Especially if you've seen this team, I know what to do. You know what to do, Danny. Blitz this team. All you got to do is blitz this team.
Yeah, I mean, like, Judkins, he's from Alabama. How did they miss him? Look how he's running all over everybody. I just don't know, like, what is going on. And then, I mean, I've watched Alabama all my life, even in the dark days. And when they was losing, they didn't, like, struggle. They still played hard. They just, they come at the end. But this team, they just don't care. That's how it feels like. They just don't care at all. They're not trying hard enough. Nobody has no fire in them. There's not an alpha dog on that line. There's nobody getting their faces. Like, what's going on?
What do you think of Saban's temperament after the game?
I really don't. I can't really put. I'm trying to think all in my head. Maybe he was just trying to get the backups some more experience. He's not showing anything. Mm-hmm. But like when we had the first and goal, we can't push South Florida. I'm like, what is going on?
No, South Florida was getting a lot. Yeah, yes, you're right.
They're blowing off the line. I'm like, what is going on, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world? Like, we can't even push them. How we gonna beat? If we played LSU yesterday, we would have got blown out like Mississippi State.
Like Polo saying inside the comment box, South Florida blitzed every down. They did. And even Coach Saban in his press conference, he said that they had some of the most exotic blitzes, but still it's like you look like the pressure's coming. They got to Ty Simpson 5 times. And as I have a question inside the comment box, let me ask you this before you go, Danny, on with Danny from Tuscaloosa. Straight up, who gives Alabama the best opportunity to beat Ole Miss?
It's going to be Jalen. Because the way the offensive line is not holding up, he's going to have to run and use his legs. Ty's not fast as him. He's elusive. He can make juke moves and stuff, but he's not fast like Jalen. And don't ever put Tyler Buckner back in. Excuse me. Hell no. Don't put him in. Good Lord. I could throw better than that, and I'm not even a quarterback. No, don't put him in. He needs to just be benched, period. But, yeah, Jalen gives our best chance, man. That's all I can say.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Danny, I appreciate it, man. I'm going to get to my next caller, man. But I got a show coming up tonight again at 6. So come back with it later on if you want.
I'll be on.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Danny.
Roll Tide, man.
Roll Tide to you, man. Hang in there. All right. We got a call from 571. It looks like it's an overseas call. And then it's 737. Hang tight. I'll be right with you on Bama Football on YouTube. I wanted to show I was diving into some statistical numbers. And again, I just got back from Miami. I just got back from Tampa. I don't even know where I'm from. This morning, I had a red eye. What's up, Crimson Kings? I see you inside the comment box. The O-line is softer than a baby's butt. Buckner, no. Dude, look, a lot of people saying the similar things this morning. These are the statistics for the Alabama quarterbacks. And let me get that off the screen. Through 3 games, okay? Let me walk you through it, and I'll get to my next call. Okay, so let's start up top. Jalen Milroe against Middle. He was 13 of 18. 194 yards and 3 touchdowns. Looks incredible now, right? When you look back at it, you're like, oh, man, that's amazing. Efficiency was 217 against Texas. Texas top-ranked team, one of them. 14 of 27, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 49 longest. Was sacked 5 times for 31 yards. Efficiency goes way down to 140, okay? Inconsistent. Overall, 27 to 45, 2 interceptions, has 5 touchdowns. Longs to 49. He's been sacked 7 times for 47 yards. We clearly know that some of those sacks were on him. Some of them were on the offensive line. Tyler Buckner, his first opportunity against Middle, he was 3 of 5. He actually rushed for a touchdown. It His longest pass was for 20 yards. Then he gets thrown in, starts the game against South Florida. He goes 5 of 14, 35%, 34 yards. Longest of 13. Has not been sacked. His efficiency rating, 56.1. You got Ty Simpson, 1 for 1 against Middle. Rushes for a touchdown. Then he gets some opportunity against South Florida. 5 of 9. Go out and win the game. Lead us to a victory. He does just that. Manages the game. 73 yards. His 45-yard pass to C.J. Dupree was money. The downside, dude was sacked 5 times. 32 yards. Efficiency rating, 123. It's clearly between Milroe and Simpson. And I asked you inside the comment box, straight up, who gives Alabama the best chance to beat Ole Miss? I'm not talking about even down the road. I'm talking about game by game. Straight up. Who can beat Lane Kiffin? That's a team that just put up 73 points. I was talking to some people from Ole Miss. They're like, hey, we don't have much. I'm like, dude, Alabama barely escaped South Florida. True story. I walked last night from the stadium to get an Uber. And the guy picks me up, and he's a football fan. And he's like, man, what was the score? And I was like, oh, he's like, South Florida get blown out. And he's like, I'm like, no, it's 17-3. And he's like, holy shit, are you serious? I was like, yeah, man, I'm serious. He was like, what? I mean, everyone was shocked by that game. Got a 1999 super chat from Chris Harper saying we should do Colorado and let the young bloods roll. The O-line sucks royally. Just let the younger players get experience for the next year. Can't be any worse. Worst football I've seen since we lost to Louisiana Monroe. I appreciate the super chat. It was not pretty by any stretch. The running game clearly was the thing to do. Let me ask you this. And I'm not taking away anything from Ty Simpson because he did what he had to do. He came in, threw a big pass in a big part of the game. Wins out for Alabama. But don't you feel, am I wrong on this? Do you feel like if Jalen Milroe comes in that game that Alabama wins by like 21, 28 points? Or am I tripping? Seriously, I don't know. I just felt like if you put him in, you win that game handily. Saban did mention, too, that Alabama has had 4 touchdowns called back. Travis, what's up, man? I appreciate the super chat, $9.99. We promised joyless murder ball, and hey, we're halfway there. It's time to take away the black jerseys at practice. Man, there's no murder ball. It's survive and advance right now. That's what it is. It's not murder ball. It's survive and advance. And next up is Ole Miss, and you have to survive another former assistant. This is Lane Kiffin's Super Bowl. Texas had their Super Bowl, the college football Super Bowl. Now this is Lane Kiffin's Super Bowl. There'd be nothing that would delight Coach Kiffin more than to beat Coach Saban head to head. And Philip is saying, yeah, if Jalen gets in, he throws 5 picks. I mean, he's throwing interceptions. Brandon saying, can Nate Oates call plays? All right, we go back to the phone lines, and let's take that 573. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am on the line with, and where are you calling in from? Are you there? I think we lost him. All right. 737, what's up? Let's get it. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is David calling from Austin.
David from Austin, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Welcome to the show. Take it away, man.
Man, I'm stressed, man.
Yeah.
For the past 3 years, it's been hard watching Alabama. It's been hard. As a fan, I don't even enjoy watching it anymore. Like, last caller said, yeah, talking about murder ball. Yeah, they're definitely playing murder ball. They're murdering us fans watching. Mm-hmm. Like, my gosh, This is embarrassing. I'll be surprised if we're in the top 25. Being honest, we'll be lucky to be 500 the way we're playing. I understand taking Jalen Milroe out, letting Ty Simpson, Buckner play, but there has to be a reason why Milroe didn't go back in. There has to, because, my goodness, we almost lost that game. We are lucky to win that game. Very lucky. And I agree, Dallas Turner hasn't shown me nothing. No one on the defensive line has shown me anything. Mm-hmm. I'm happy we played James Smith. I was a huge advocate last week for James Smith. I thought he played really well. I mean, Tommy Reese, oh, man.
Yeah.
I think I might rather have Bill O'Brien, if I'm being honest. It's that bad.
Oh,
it's
well,
bad.
that's kind of somebody who's been escaping a little bit of the heat too, right? Is we've been critical of the offensive line, and rightfully so. They played atrocious. The quarterbacks, they're trying to figure out their rhythm. They've been inconsistent. I mean, we've barely seen anything from Ty Simpson. But how much of this is on Tommy Reese? Seriously. I mean, why will Alabama not take a shot downfield? It seems like they have completely just chopped off the deep ball game. And some of this stuff, like dinking and dunking to the backfield, give these guys an opportunity to at least develop some sort of rhythm that can turn into some momentum for this offense. This offense has no identity. They have no momentum. I'm glad that they ran the football last night. I said feed Jace or feed Roydell or somebody. But in terms of
I'm happy.
What Tommy's doing, and remember, was Tommy Alabama's first choice? Didn't they bring in that guy from Washington and they offered him the world and he said no thanks? I don't know. I don't know if he took a look under the hood and he was like, I'm getting it.
I wish he had him. Oh, man.
Shoot.
This is rough to watch, man. Like, if we're being honest, it wouldn't have been as bad with Jalen Milroe in, but it would have still been bad because this O-line is getting worse every game. I mean, Caden Proctor is going to get somebody hurt bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like the way it is bad.
Yeah.
Those hits that Ty would take because of him.
I know. Yes.
And what's his name? Jace McClellan cannot pass block. I mean, at all.
No, they can't.
Wow. Like, man, I appreciate you for taking my call, man. I'm gonna let you get to other callers. I love your show, man. Keep doing what you do.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, that was a call from the Texas area. Let me pull up these are the pass blocking stats right here. See if I can get this framed out a little bit better and put this full screen. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Here are the Pro Football Focus pass blocking grades. Okay, they're a little bit better than I thought. Terrence Ferguson, in 30 pass protection plays, he had a grade of 79.4. Okay, it's actually better than I thought. J.C. Latham, 79.9. Seth, 77.8. Huge jump for him. 73.4 for Darian. But my goodness, they ate up Caden. Caden Proctor with a grade of 52.4. Needs to, I'm all about, the freshmen getting their opportunity, but clearly, he's had 3 opportunities, and we keep talking about consistency and performance. Clearly, it's not there for Caden Proctor. So maybe move JC to the left if you can and try to figure out something on the right side. Something needs to change because this offensive line is not it. And I don't know. And let me ask you something like this as we continue to go forward. How much is on Tommy Reese? Are you out there questioning some of the play calls and the designs? Or is this on the players? It's X's and O's, Jimmy's and Joe's, or is it one and the same? Kind of seems like it's everything. All right, we go back to the phone lines with the 256. We start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
It's Anthony from Jack State. Called you a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Really appreciate everything you do, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. Go ahead.
Man, my problem with the O-line, and maybe this cleared up for a bunch of people that know O-line and watch O-line, you're not doing any favors for Caden Proctor putting Damian Dalcourt beside him. Hey, I don't know what was wrong with Booker last night, but that really hurt us. Damian Dalcourt has lost every job that he's had at Alabama. He started out as a center, lost his job to a freshman, Seth McLaughlin. Moved in the right guard, loses his job to Booker. Moved in the left guard last night, and he looked like he was in a guessing game with a chicken fair concert. He never knew where the blitz or stunts were coming from. He didn't do any favors for Caden Proctor. He could have told him that zero was on the blitz most of the night last night, and Caden Proctor might have get a better set in his stance. And the quarterbacks aren't doing themselves no favor by not moving up in the pocket. Now, Ferguson could probably handle right guard, but do not put Damian Dalcourt back in. It's driving me crazy with this cat.
Yeah.
And I get it. He's been there 4 or 5 years, and he knows the system. He knows what words to use to keep his position, and it looks good on paper, but it doesn't look good in performance. He's never looked good in performance. He started out at Alabama with false starts, if everybody remembers him back in the Mississippi State game 3 years ago. So it drives me insane. It drove me insane last night and leaving McClendon in. When Williams was obviously your bowling ball with butcher knives attached to it. He was killing that defense. I would have run him like they did Derrick Henry back in the day.
Yep.
I mean, he don't need but 2 inches of daylight, and Buddy, he's either gone or getting him 3 yards or 4 yards with a good lean-to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, Chase is probably coming back from that injury last year, and he don't want to get hurt anymore, and he's playing a little lackadaisical. And as far as everything else go, I could just go on ranting and raving about Tommy Reese. Is probably the worst hire we've had since Major Applewhite. Mm-hmm. He just really is. He brings no juice to the offense. He gives no help in a hot route all night long to either one of these quarterbacks, which Buckner is clearly not a starting SEC quarterback on anybody's team. Mm-hmm. He's got the worst. I thought he had Tommy John surgery. He had such a weak arm last night. I've wrung out water that fell faster than he could throw a football. And these things were self-evident in the first quarter, and he should have been pulled earlier for Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson has the time and you set him up some hot routes, he will kill these dudes, man. He is better than Milroe because Milroe can't read but one side of the field. Mm-hmm. We've seen that in 2 games. We've seen that in a 3-game sample. Mm-hmm. And unless they're going to set the offense up to run some kind of wing tee, Milroe is non-void. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry to say that. He must have had a bad attitude because he wasn't even the second-string quarterback the other night. Mm-hmm. And all these things are accumulating, and it's driving me crazy. It's not the whole line's fault. They need help. If you got a true freshman playing left tackle, then get a hot route over there to nullify that guy or run the football at 0. The outside linebacker was killing us all night long. Mm-hmm. We made him an All-American last night, guys, and it wasn't just Proctor's fault. I'm telling you, Dalcourt handled a twist stunt the entire night. Mm-hmm. He can't decipher it. You can see his head moving really fast. If you'll rewatch the game, he doesn't know where nothing's coming from. He is a problem because he can't even help a freshman do his job. Mm-hmm. And that is his job at left guard, is to help that freshman. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, that's Tommy Reese's fault. It's not the old line coach's fault. You know, we went from running zone offense last year with zone run plays, and you can't run zone offense this year, and they can't even block downhill. That's the offensive coordinator's fault. We got a good center. We got a really good player in Booker, and I think Ferguson could get some more reps under him, and he could be an excellent player. But until you solve that riddle or somebody sees it on tape down there, because Coach Saban doesn't get involved with the offense much. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we don't have the offensive coordinators that we've lost in the past. I get it. But something's going to have to be done down there, and I do not know. But criticizing Coach Saban is the last thing I want to do because I don't want to do what we went through 22 years without a good coach. If they're everywhere, then why ain't they at Alabama? Mm-hmm. Because they're not. And I don't feel like criticizing Coach Saban is the right thing to do because he gets left with what's left over because of the NIL. Nobody wants to recruit and coach as much as they used to, and nobody points that out. Mm-hmm. You don't get the great coaches anymore. A lot of the good offensive and defensive coordinators went to the pros to get out of this NIL and transfer portal crap. And Coach Saban gets dumped on just because, he made one bad hire. You know, it just drives me crazy, man. There's too much on his plate. We're going to have to suffer through this year, and I'm not going to blame Coach Saban, and I don't even care if it is his fault. The man's earned the right to have some kind of, like, a bad year. He's kept us in relativity for 15 years when we were irrelevant for 22. And I just want to remind Alabama fans that, hey, dude, this hurts and I get it, but look, it ain't the end of the world. He's going to figure it out, and maybe next year's our year. Maybe this is the one time when we, in 4 years we don't play for the national championship. But it ain't the end of the world. He'll figure it out. And he's proven he'll get rid of bad people. Major Applewhite was gone. Next thing what was his name? McElwain came in. So he's going to fix it, man. Everybody just needs to chill out. I don't want to lose Coach Saban over people, and especially I heard the boosters are complaining. What do they got to complain about? He's made them billions of dollars. Get off your high horse. The man works himself to death. Everybody needs to remember not all coaches care. Tommy Tuberville, Malzone. We watched it in our own state where they give up. And then you really get 5 years behind in recruiting.
Yep.
Because that's what happens every time you get rid of a coach. That's a 5-year window that you're giving up. And people need to realize that, quit putting all this pressure on Saban, because all he got to do is just walk away. They'll fire Sarkisian tomorrow and give him a higher contract than anybody in the nation to coach Texas. And then you're going to get slayed in recruiting, because then he's going to have all the NIL money, because that's what Texas is. But anyway, Kyle, I love everything you do for our university and everything you do for Texas. I mean, for Alabama fans and for everybody in the state, man. Keep doing what you do, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for calling in, Anthony.
Sorry about the long rant, man. I just think it needed to be said.
No, I think so too, man. I appreciate it. Thanks. All right. Anthony calling out in Jacksonville State. Real tight to you, buddy. Appreciate the call in. Call in line is open. You got 205-850-1994. My name's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys joining me today. September 17th. I just got back from Tampa this morning. Took the red eye back here. It was nice. I got from Tampa to Atlanta. The Atlanta airport was a complete zoo like it always is. And then I cruised on into beautiful Birmingham and got back here to Tuscaloosa. That's where I live. Taking my son to watch the 49ers at 3 p.m. And then I'll come back from my evening show, which will start probably around 6:30. And then we'll go heavy on that to break down more of this game, take your calls, and also start to talk about Ole Miss. Ole Miss is coming to town. Games at 2:30 here at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Two things I got homework assignments for you guys while you guys are inside the comment box. Number one, if the AP poll comes out, of the coaches poll, will you guys post that inside the comment box? It comes out around now or 1. I want to see where Alabama's ranked. I don't think they're going to be ranked in the top 10, nor should they be ranked in the top 10. This is not a top 10 team. So I'm just curious to see where they're at. And then also, will you guys let me know if there's a line for Alabama and Ole Miss? I think some offshore lines had Alabama favored by a touchdown. I would say it's less than a touchdown if the official lines come out. Sometimes they come out a little bit later in the day. I would imagine it's like Alabama's a 5.5 point favorite. I was talking to some Ole Miss people this morning and saying that Ole Miss doesn't have a lot, but I mean, you look at their schedule, they haven't played the quality of opponent that Alabama has in Texas, but they're scoring a ton of points, and Lane Kiffin's having fun. Pete Golden's over there. I think he already got it chewed out by Lane Kiffin one time. I don't know. So with that said, let's go back to the phone lines, and we'll take a 337. We'll start right now. Let's try that again. Hang tight, caller. I'm trying to get you through. Not sure what's happening. Give me 1 second. Looks like I'm running into just a slight error. Give me 1 second. All right, let's give this just another second. And you guys just hang tight. I'll be right back. Sometimes, I do all this myself, so sometimes there's just issues that happen. Stay with me. All right, are you guys still there? I don't know. The call, having some trouble connecting to the call. Are you guys still there? Oh, let me see. All right. Let me get that window, try to refresh. I don't know what's happening to the call online. But I wanted to go back to why let that kind of like flush out. Let's go over some more of those Pro Football Focus grades. I don't think I showed you guys the defensive Pro Football Focus grades. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Things happen. Internet gets squirrely. Not going to worry about it. I stopped stressing about the internet a long time ago. It's just not worth it. Can't control it. These are the Pro Football Focus grades against South Florida. So Caleb Downs, 58.5. Didn't you guys see when Caleb Downs was he was bulldozed by that running back? And I think Jalen Keat was too. Man, that was crazy. Both those guys got eaten up a couple times. All right, Deontay Lawson, 88.3 Pro Football Focus grade. Call line is closed for right now. I'll get you guys in a second. I don't know what happened. Terran Arnold, 74.7. Kool-Aid, 81.1. Malachi Moore, 75.1. Jalen Key, 65.6. Dallas Turner, 61.7. Chris Broswell, 90.3. Whoa. That's good. That's the first time we've been in the blue on defense. Anybody. Congratulations, Chris. Wow, that's amazing. Justin Mbogbe, 69.5, and then Tim Smith, 67.8. Tresman, Tresman, to be honest, has been grading out a little bit low in these Pro Football Focus grades. Have any of you defensive linebacker specialists been following Tresman? What have your thoughts been on him? Because he's been grading out pretty low, to be honest. So I don't know. I mean, it's still a small sample size, but we do have enough components to work with, right? Statistically. I want to go over, actually, these were some more stats last night. I don't think you guys are going to like this. Alabama had 8 punts last night. James Burnap, love the dude. He's doing a great job. 8 punts, 369 yards, average of 46.1, longest of 60 inside the 24 with 3 touchbacks. Will Reichert, he was hit a field goal, and the distance was from 30 yards. He's been money. And these are the season offensive stats. Let's go over these. Now that Alabama has 3 games, you can look at this in full screen. Starting up on the left of your screen, you have Roydell Williams, 3 games played, 30 attempts, and his net average is 177. You have Jace McClellan, 35 attempts, and net gain is 158 yards with a touchdown. Only 2 rushing touchdowns from those 2, which is interesting. Jalen Milroe has 92 yards for 2 touchdowns. And then after that, it kind of drops off. You had Justice and Jameer Miller, Jam Miller, with 7 attempts. So those guys have 11 combined. And then Richard Young had 5 carries for 19 yards. Haven't really seen much of Justice Haynes since that first game. Passing-wise, I already showed you those statistics. Jalen Milroe right now with 449 yards. Buckner has 61, and then Ty Simpson has 78 yards. Receiving-wise, I cut it off after Malik Benson. We're looking at the bottom left of your screen. Man, that's crazy. Malik Benson only has 4 receptions for 38 yards. Man, I thought he was – I get it. We're not really getting the ball to these guys, but still, it's like 4 receptions, 38 yards. I wonder how he feels. I think he was only targeted once yesterday. Mari Nyblack, 4 receptions for 94 yards. Jermaine Burton, 6 receptions for 102. Man, this is just terrible. Through 3 games, it's just terrible. Kobe Prentice, 8 for 88, and then Isaiah Bond, 10 for 52. This should be like per game. That's what we're used to, right? Remember when Alabama had like the wideouts, and I don't think this is really on the wide receivers. Clearly, like we've talked about that. It's more of the guys getting the football to them in the offensive line because the receivers have been playing really well. Punt returns on your right. Kool-Aid has 7 for 59 yards, 8.4 an average. I think last year was like 15 an average, so that's kind of a dip there. But teams don't want to punt to Kool-Aid. I get it. Alabama had a kickoff return for a touchdown called back yesterday. That wasn't good. Let's look at the defensive statistics. Through 3 games. So through 3 games, Deontay Lawson leads the team with 25 total tackles. He has, I think that is sacks, 2 for 18. And then you have Caleb Downs, who has 22 tackles. Trezor Marshall has 18. So he has 18 tackles, but he just hasn't been graded out too high on Pro Football Focus. Have to dive more into that and watch this last game again. Terrion Arnold, 17 total tackles, pass deflections or breakups. He has 3 of those. Where have the interceptions been for this team? They've only had, 2? Is that right? Yeah. So one yesterday, that was Malachi Moore, and then Jalen Key in that first game as well, won. That's kind of a statistic that stands out to me. Chris Broswell, 13 tackles. Dallas Turner, that's kind of low right there with 12, but he does have 2 sacks. Chris Broswell has 2 sacks. I thought we'd see more from Q Robinson, to be honest. Number 34 down here at the bottom left of your screen. But, sometimes, those guys, don't get in for whatever reason. Here's one more look at the quarterback chart. And I put a poll inside the comment box. Who do you think should start against Ole Miss? Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to connect the call line. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
This is David from Louisiana over here.
Hey, David. I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for hanging tight. I just sometimes the internet, you're just like, what the, you have no idea what happens. Things go wrong. It's all good. I used to stress about it, and then it's like, man, you can't, man. You can't control the internet. It just does whatever the hell it wants. But you're on the show, man. So take it away. Your observations, takeaways, whatever you want to go with.
Well, you might need to get Starlink, that Elon Musk internet. I've heard good things about it, but I don't. I know it's expensive, but anyways, no, our offensive line couldn't even stop St. John Bosco's defense from what I saw yesterday. I'm telling you, that was terrible. That poor Ty Simpson got destroyed. The blind side. I mean, it was so embarrassing to watch. It was embarrassing. It was the most embarrassing thing I've seen in a long time from the University of Alabama. It was just despicable. I'm not going to put all the blame necessarily on Tyler Buchner. I mean, it was his first start in the SEC, I'm not completely big on him. I think he deserved his shot yesterday, just like everybody else deserved a shot. And we all found out yesterday it's not necessarily the quarterbacks, it's the offensive line. The offensive line is dookie, trash. I'm not going to try to cuss on here, but it just ticks me off so bad. You could tell Tyler Buchner was nervous yesterday. I mean, anybody. All these people sitting on the couch watching the game yesterday commenting about how, you got a 200-something pound dude coming at you running about 20 miles an hour fixing to drive you into the ground. You'd be nervous too, I just don't know what to do. I mean, I just don't know what to say. It's sad. It's really sad. The penalties, we didn't have a whole bunch yesterday, but, these touchdowns we get, like that one that Terrion Arnold took back yesterday to the house, had to be a holding call. I was like, oh my God, look at this dude run. He's going down the sideline. I said, I bet you $100 is going to get called back somehow or another. And guess what happened? Of course, it's always something. Always something. I just don't know what to do. I mean, can we start a GoFundMe and hire some offensive linemen or something? It's just It's gotten bad, man. It's really gotten bad.
You know, it was
I
really,
mean, we went
you know,
back
was,
to 19.
what was really sad was that that video. I think it was by AL.com, and it was of Saban like completely rain soaked walking through the tunnel. He looked like he was like 400 years old, man. I mean, that was like, God bless, you know. And then I'm sure you watched the press conference, and for everybody inside the comment box as well, we're on with David from Louisiana, calling from behind enemy lines. What did you guys think of Coach Saban's demeanor post game? He said he was happy with how the team played, happy with how they kind of responded in a game like that. What was your take, David, on kind of the post game demeanor? Did you think that he would be a little bit more fired up? I mean, what was your thought on that?
Well, thank God I'm not the coach, because it would have been bleeped out the whole interview. And we know how Coach Saban is. Everybody knows how Coach Saban is. He's going to do things internally. He's not going to bash his quarterback, his linemen, his defense, or anything publicly. He's just not that way. And if a coach does that publicly, it's an embarrassment as well to the university. You know, you deal with things internally. It's like whenever you correct your child at home, you know, you do that within the house. You know, back in the day, we used to do it in public, you know, before everything just went crazy and you can't spank your kid for, you know, stealing something or whatever. But, you know, I believe he handled it well. Yeah, I understand where he's coming from. They did fight, you know, and like he said the day before, a couple of days before, that this is going to be the fastest team as far as, you know, offensively, you know, constantly no huddle, hurry up, go, go, go. Defense is going to be pretty quick. They're going to send a lot of different exotic plays, you know, defensive plays to them. And they did, you know. But something has got to give on that offensive line. The running backs have got to start blocking better. You know, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to bash Tyler Buckner. It was his first start, you know, in the SEC. The dude only had 4 legit games under his belt at Notre Dame, you know, as a starter before he got injured. You know, he had 2 before he got injured, and then his last 2 was at the very end of the year. He might not be cut out for the Southeastern Conference. You know, I'm not saying he's our savior or anything, but he had to give his chance. And I believe, like a lot of people said before, that maybe Coach Saban said, okay, you know, he's hearing it from people that do follow social media, you know, that's on his coaching staff. Why don't we go ahead and let them see what we really have as quarterbacks, and then let them know that Milroe is the best option for the team right now. But if our offensive line can't block, Tom Brady couldn't even do crap. You know, it's just that simple. I mean, I don't know what else to do. We can hire a ghost that's quarterback and the defense can't find him and throw the ball. I mean, I don't know what else to do. It's an embarrassment. You know, I live in one of the worst states in the United States as far as a fan base, in Louisiana over here. And, you know, just about everybody I know is LSU fans, and that's all I've heard. Well, y'all barely squeeze by. Y'all get into SEC play. Y'all might be a 2-5, 2-win and the rest lost team this year at the rate it's going. You know, because I'm telling you, Kiffin and company, they ain't gonna take it light on us come this weekend, coming up this next weekend. He is going to find every little hole, little nook and cranny that he could possibly find to expose the defense. And he's a genius at that. He's better than Sark will ever be at that, in my opinion, my personal opinion. And you know, the coaching staff at Alabama, people are like, well, we need to get better coaching staff. We need to do. Well, look at where the old coaching staff is. How many of them that was under Coach Saban as an OC or DC are head coaches somewheres? You know, that's just part of the tree. Whenever you get into college football or high school football or whatever, you might be the water boy one week and the head coach the following week. You just never know. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But something's got to give. I know you got other people wanting to get in, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm just lost for words on it. I just, something has got to give. And the best game I saw yesterday was the Colorado State-Colorado game. That was probably the best game of the whole, and it just showed how overhyped, in my opinion, that Colorado actually really is, because they got brought into 2 overtimes last night. So, but anyways, I think Colorado State could have beat us yesterday. But y'all have a good one. I got this job I got to get started over here, and God bless everyone. God bless the United States of America, and I'll be listening later on tonight, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy, David. Talk to you later.
All right, brother.
All right. David calling in from behind enemy lines. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys joining me today. As I said, I will be back on tonight, probably around 6:30. Going to go watch the 49ers game at 3 p.m., but I wanted to jump on. I just got back from Tampa this morning, so, there's plenty to dive into. Plus, I like what I do. I like to talk to you guys and, digest that game and get your voice on it, because I cannot believe that it was 3-3 with South Florida yesterday, right? I think we got SW in the chat. You guys watch that Colorado game? I did watch the Colorado and Colorado State game, but it was on so late, and plus I was on Eastern time. I was like, I needed to go to bed. So I'm not surprised to see that game go into overtime. It's a rivalry game. It's good to see Colorado now at 3-0. Looks like Hunter's going to be out a couple weeks. He took a monster shot. They're calling for that guy to be suspended, like on social media. I don't know. I don't know if they said what was wrong with Hunter, like his probably broken ribs or something like that. I don't know. But did they have Oregon next? Is it Oregon or USC? Something like that. It's a fun storyline to watch. I love when Colorado's good. Love when some of those old classic teams are better. Florida State survived yesterday against Boston College. I knew they'd get into some of those squirrely matchups. Georgia was losing yesterday to South Carolina. They came back to win. And what are the matchups this coming week? Don't you have Notre Dame and is it Ohio State? And then you have Florida State and Clemson, I think, right? There's some pretty good matchups coming up. I see you inside the comment box, Adam. Thanks for joining us. And then Tennessee. That was the funniest thing was when Tennessee, the Tennessee and Florida. So Florida beats Tennessee, but at the end of the game when they're kind of kneeling the ball, those two dudes are squaring up, right? Did you see that? That was hilarious. All right, 201. We go to the phone lines. Let's get it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Adam from Georgia. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Adam? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away, man.
Yeah, I just got a few thoughts. When it comes to deciding between Milroe and Simpson, my only issue with Milroe is that if he is the starter, we're going to deal with the same types of interceptions and a quarterback who just doesn't read defenses well or go through his progressions. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Simpson's the answer. I think he has a higher ceiling. I just don't know if he's ready yet. So my view would be go with Milroe to start, and if he doesn't do well, go to Simpson. But none of this really matters if our O-line is not performing well. And I think it kind of like, when I watched that game yesterday, it kind of like shows me that there might be a culture problem in Alabama where the players are just not listening to Saban or his message, his values and his old school approach, the grind, making the right choices, going through the process isn't working. And that's what really scares me, because if that's the truth, we're going to not do well this year and it's going to be difficult going forward. What do you think?
I don't know if, if you're not in the locker room, you don't know about like the culture problem. I think times have certainly changed. I think all the notoriety that Colorado continues to get that might, talking about blocking out all the noise and stuff. How can you, when you're always on your phone? I mean, everyone's always on their phone, especially, these players at that age. But getting back to the quarterback, man, it's tough. I mean, look, Ty Simpson, I think you're right. Like he is capable to manage this team, but I just don't know if he is ready to beat Ole Miss, if he is ready to beat Mississippi State, if he's ready to go on the road to Texas A&M, he's got to grow up, right? You got to, at one point, like, give this offense to somebody. Can't be going, like, back and forth. I mean, we haven't even seen Dylan Lonergan. Is he next? Right? I mean, it said Dylan Lonergan. That's what it says on the depth chart. We're going to see him at some point. I think you do have to go back to Jalen Milroe at some point because, I mean, you look at the statistics alone. I mean, he did take the lead against Texas. He does present problems with his legs. He's hit on the deep ball. He's thrown touchdowns. He might street fight the rest of the way, but he's going to give you your best chance to win games, in my opinion. And we need to see more of a sample size of Ty Simpson. He came in and did what he needed to do. He just got out of there with a dub. I like the fact that he was able to throw that pass to Dupree. He did have a ball that was underthrown that I think Robbie Oots bailed him out of at the end zone. Guy can run. Right. He's athletic as well. But I think to your point too, like if they can't block him, or if the offensive line can't block, then man, Simpson's gonna get killed. Seriously, yesterday he got obliterated not once, like 3 or 4 times. If anyone's having some Advil today, it's him. Man, he was sacked 5 times. So, I mean, it's Milroe and Simpson at this point. I guess in an emergency case, you go to Dylan Lonergan. Maybe he can get something going. But it also, we can't forget about Tommy Rees. Some of this is on him as well, right? This offense is not sexy at all. How about this? You know whose offense I liked, to be honest, is South Florida's. They don't have the outside weapons by any means, those receivers, and I love how they stretch the field, and I like what he did at Tennessee. That would have been a nice hire for Alabama to bring him in, some creativity like that he has. He doesn't have the weapons on the outside, and their quarterback's just a good athlete, and he can run around. He didn't really make any big passes, but I don't know. Tommy Rees it's been lackluster, if anything. So Tommy Rees isn't good. The quarterbacks aren't consistent. The offensive line is terrible. The running backs, I do like the running backs, and I think that they're going to get better. Maybe that's going to be the start of the identity. Just run the damn ball. I don't know. What else you got, David? I'm sorry. That's
Adam, it. I think Ole Miss is going to tell the story about whether we have potential this season to go to the SEC championship. My girlfriend and I are going back to Tuscaloosa, so hopefully we won't be leaving as disappointed as we were after the Texas game. So thanks for taking my call and roll tide.
Yeah, take it easy, Adam. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, those are big, 3 big issues we're dealing with here is the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks, offensive line. And somebody, like I said earlier in the show, someone was pissed off. They're like, stop saying the bright spot is the special teams. I'm like, that's the truth. Because Will Riker gets you points every time, and the punter, can bail you out. What does James say? What's up, James? I see you inside the comment box. Kyle, please remember that Saban wants an offense ran his way, not someone else's creative way. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think he wants to have an offense that's consistent and that kind of fits the world of college football today. With that said, what are we seeing different this year from Bill O'Brien? I don't know. 334, let's get it. Hey, thanks for being patient. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
David from Opelika.
Hey, David. What's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we talked last week. I was your last caller last week.
Yep. Yeah, I remember.
It's good to talk back to you.
Absolutely, and I hope you're having a good Sunday.
Yeah, my high thing changed. Everybody wanted to bench Jalen, and you do the math yesterday. Over 90% of people was telling the boy to get put back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You folks online and everything. They're gonna be growing pains. Like I watched Alabama's in the '80s when they didn't call them a wide receiver, they call them split end, Lamar Russell. And they got to develop a skill set. They got to develop plays for whoever's in there, which I just believe is Jalen. His leg can get you. Yeah, he throw interception, but interception is also part of the game. The wet quarterback haven't done it. Tua were good, but Tua was in there. Tua wanted to throw a touchdown every play. He held the ball on it, and he tended to get hurt, and it's still going on today in the NFL. Bryce, I remember Bryce, he got Jameson Williams. William hurt in the national championship game when he underthrew the ball. And the last pass, guy ran back for a pick six. That's why I mainly remember them two for when it came time for the big game and then to win it on their own from start to finish. Neither one of them brought trophy back to T-Town. But it gonna get better. Reese just need to be on the sideline.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, yeah, he's.
Down.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did Lane Kiffin like that with Blake Sims. You got to be able to talk to your quarterback, whoever it is, and pull them to the side and look them in the face and calm them down and trust them. Everybody wanted Thailand. We gave him. I didn't watch the first part, but everybody talked about it like he was hot garbage. Mm-hmm. And then we got Ty in there. He ran one play, and I thought he was going to get the first down, and he slid funny the first down. He going to mess himself up sliding like that. That's crazy. The way you slide. We pipe on Jalen, hold the ball long. When he hold the ball, throw it fast. We armchair fans, and we sitting there watching. You should have done this, should have done that. Just like a multiple choice question. You got 3-4 answers. The reason we got that because everybody not going to do the same. Mm-hmm. When you know it's one correct answer, but everybody, you got 3-4 people, they're going to choose different. It's just all about pricing. I just hope whoever win the QB room does it. But it seemed like the wide receiver was sticking with Miro when they came out the tunnel. That's who they walked out with before the game.
Yeah, I was down. I was down on the field yesterday before the game, and it was weird how all the quarterbacks came out together, but in the pregame, like pre-pregame, it was Jalen Milroe by himself, and then the other quarterback started working out, and I don't know. Like I saw someone in the comment box, I think it was you, Adam, said that Jalen Milroe was suspended yesterday. I hadn't heard that. I don't know if that's. I can't confirm that. I think probably say I don't. So I have no idea if that's true or not. But I know
somebody said on another show he was concussed, but I don't believe that either. I believe Saban just said, "Get what y'all want. I'ma prove it to you. Y'all don't trust me, so I'm gonna let y'all see." And not gonna put him in the game. And y'all gonna see what we got.
And he had to put other quarterbacks in the game. I mean, he had to, and he had to give those guys opportunities, and those guys got opportunities. So now I think Buckner, his play clearly shows that he's not ready for this level here at Alabama. Like he's not, man. He dude looked freaked out. I was freaked out for him too. I was freaked out for everybody, and especially with that offensive line. Holy cow!
But we don't do nothing like the first championship team when we had Jim McElwain. He was calling play. We used to do reverses, screens. We don't do nothing.
Has there even been a screen called this year?
We went from the air raid. No, I haven't seen him. I haven't really seen it in the last 3 years.
Like, why not get a screen to Isaiah Bond or something, right? I mean, there's been some passes out to like the flats to receivers or running back. I'm trying to think. Offensive gurus, if you're in there, has Alabama ran a screen this year? Seriously, to one of the wide receivers?
I haven't seen him in the last couple of years, really. We got all them backs, put 2 of them backs in there at the same time on a couple of plays and get these guys guessing which one going to get the ball. They got to start blocking better because on these blitzes, Jace been scared ever since he got ran over 2 years ago in that one game. That dude, if the little DB just ran him over, he hadn't been the same since for his blocking.
And yesterday, I mean, I get it. They can't block to save their life, but I mean, they didn't take anything down. They didn't take anything downfield besides that CJ Dupree. But other than that, I mean, they didn't go downfield. Hey, I've got to move to my next caller, but I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to be back on this evening, so if you want to watch the show, I appreciate it and call back.
I appreciate it.
All right, man, take it easy. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I was thinking about that. It's like, where are the screens or something creative to kind of get these guys, the fastest players the ball? Like Isaiah Bond, you need to be creative to get him the football in some aspect. Malik Benson, I mean, that dude, 4 receptions this one screen, Chad is saying. Someone said 0, someone said 2. Let's call the average at 1. It's not a sexy offense, right? Even some of the stuff that like South Florida was doing yesterday where you kind of fake to the left and come back to the right, some misdirection, there's none of that. Christian's like, Reese needs to open up the play. I agree, Christian. Totally predictable. All right, we go back to the phone lines. 205, let's get it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hi, Kyle. This is Terry from Northport, Alabama. And the reason I wanted to, what I wanted to talk to you about, you and the previous caller had just touched on. I live in Northport, which is, very close to Tuscaloosa, and I've got a buddy that works out at the university. And you know how everyone has a source and everyone says they know things. Well, this friend of mine told me on Thursday, he said that Jalen Milroe was not going to play Saturday at all. Now, he didn't say that he was suspended, but he said he's not going to play. And I said, no, that isn't true. You're crazy. Coach isn't going to bench him. And he said, and he told me that Buckner was going to start and that Jalen wasn't going to play because he and Saban got into it. He didn't say whether or not it was in front of the team. He said he didn't know whether or not it was in front of the team, but he thought it was in front of the team whenever Buckner started taking more of the first team snaps. And I told him, I says, no, if Buckner goes in and doesn't do well, Coach Saban will go back to Milroe. Well, then we all saw what happened in the game. Buckner was a bust, and then he put in Ty Simpson. Let me tell you something else that I think that shows us that Jalen could have been suspended on Saturday. At the 3-minute mark of the post-game press conference, Chase Goodbread, from the reporter from Tuscaloosa, asked Coach Saban, Coach, can you tell us why did you play Ty and Tyler, but you didn't play Jalen yesterday? And Coach Saban said, well, that was an internal team problem. And then he said, and we've all got to learn to deal with learn to deal the right way when things don't go like we think they ought to go. So I personally think Jalen could have been suspended for Saturday, but he's our only hope that we have of having a good season. And I hope that Coach Saban was using that as maybe a lesson, and Jalen will get his head on right, and that we'll go forward with him. And I was just wondering, had you heard anything about any of that?
No, to be honest, I hadn't heard that. But Adam here in the comment box is saying that as well. By the way, I live in Tuscaloosa, so I'm not far from Northport. We're probably, somewhat next door neighbors.
Great.
It's there's some really nice neighborhoods in Northport, just really nice in that area. One of the things that I like about living in this area is like all these different neighborhoods in Tuscaloosa or Northport. They're so nice. It's like, really nice setups.
Yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, goated inside the comment box. I appreciate it. Yeah, now that I'll go back and listen to that press conference and kind of read between the lines. It's at the 3-minute mark. Okay. Chase Goodbread asked him, says, Coach, I saw you played Ty and Tyler. Why didn't you play Jalen? And he says something like, well, that was an internal team thing, and we all have to learn to deal with adversity and how to basically act when things don't go like we think they ought to go. So it sounds like he and Coach Saban had some words, or Jalen didn't react the way he wanted him to, and he set him down as kind of a lesson. Look, I was around for all of the Coach Bryant years, and Coach Bryant had some bad years. So Coach Saban has earned the right to to coach just as long as he wants. But this kinder, gentler Saban, I don't like. Yeah,
I think he needs to go back to being a little more hard nosed. I think he's been a little too laid back, but that's just my opinion. I know you've got other callers, so I'll get off. But look, thank you very much for taking my call, and I love your show. Thanks,
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the feedback, and
okay,
I'll be on again tonight, so feel free to call back if you would like to. All right, that was Terry.
Okay, thank you.
Terry calling from Northport. You know what? Let's just listen to that press conference just from that point and see if we can make out anything. All right, so I'm going to take myself out. Callers, I'll be right with you guys. Well, here's Saban. Last night I got it queued up to around the part that Terry said, so I'm going to remove myself, and here's Saban from
Guys, raise your hand for me and speak up, please. Austin?
Yeah, Coach, how did you feel
Thought he did okay. He made a couple really good throws, and we missed a couple big play throws that we've been making some of those, but I thought he played well. He managed the game well. We ran the ball quite a bit when he was in there. I don't think the sacks were necessarily his fault, so we'll evaluate it when we watch the film.
Coach, go ahead, Chase. When South Florida jumped off sides to give y'all a key first down in the last few minutes, were you trying to draw them off, or were you really going to run a play there on that fourth down instead of kicking?
What do you think?
I think you were just trying to draw them.
Yeah, we were going to kick a field goal. I mean, you had to get up 2 scores in the game. So.
On your right here, Coach?
Coach, you mentioned that you were very impressed with your team competing today.
At the defensive end, we thought we had 17 or something, which is, a pretty good job of getting off the field.
2 more, Nick, and then TV in the back.
It looks like Jalen was pretty vocal in his support of the guys, especially after that first touchdown. What does that say about him as a leader, still being around for the team, even though maybe?
Yeah, he did a great job. He really has been supportive of his teammates, and I was happy to see that. And hopefully we'll all learn lessons from the experiences that we have and move forward in a positive way.
Okay. Learn from our experiences and move in a positive way. I can see, there might be something to look kind of into. So we'll dial into that and see if there's a little bit more, because I'm curious to see if he was necessarily, suspended, or if him and Saban did have something. I didn't hear that up until today, so I appreciate you guys bringing that, and something to kind of follow up on. We go back to the phone lines, and we got a 502. Let's do it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is John from. How you doing?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. John from where?
John from Kentucky.
Sorry, man. Connection just not good, man. Sorry about that, John. 502. Let's do it. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Mike from Kentucky. What's up, Kyle?
I appreciate you calling in, Mike. Welcome to the show, man. What's on your mind, man? That wasn't good yesterday.
Well, what's on my mind is what was on my mind last year as well. I think what we're seeing here, bro, nothing lasts forever. You, me, Milk, you know what I'm saying? I think we're witnessing the same thing that happened to Bobby Bowden, bro. He left the cupboard full at Florida State. Recruiting wasn't a problem. I think the generation gap has just become too wide, bro.
Mm-hmm.
18, 19, 20-year-old kids just don't tune in to a 70-year-old man. And it's nobody's fault. I'm not saying Nick Saban still ain't a sharp football mind, but I think that's what we're looking at, bro. If not, then we missed 80 times in recruiting. So something's wrong, and it ain't the players. I think the sun's setting, bro. I don't know what else to think. How could we miss that bad to not have a good quarterback in our stable at recruiting? I agree with your last caller. I think Jalen, despite his glitches, is the best shot we got to have some kind of a season. I'm not even thinking about playoffs at this point. Mississippi State's going to clean our clock next Saturday if we don't fix quarterback and fix it quick. What do you think?
Man.
I hate to be the guy that brings it up, but the same thing happened to Bobby Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
Jimbo Fisher had a national title 2 years after leaving that team with the same players. That's the only. What else could it be? What else could it be? We've got 4- and 5-star players. We got more stars in the Milky Way, bro. There ain't no reason to not have. And for Nick Saban to even say that he thought the team performed well Saturday, I couldn't wrap my head around that, and I still can't. And I'm not even gonna, comment. But we all know that ain't true. I just don't get this. I mean, we all lose the edge, man, and it's no reason for him not to retire happily. But I'm ready for a complete overhaul in the system, dude. I mean, the coordinators look worse this year. I mean, we played a blind school. Yeah, the defense looked good, but what are we going to do when we get an SEC play? It just ain't. I hate to be the guy that says it, but I mean, it's been on my mind since last year. Since he hired those last two coordinators, I've been thinking for over a year now. Nick Saban's, he used to plug and play coordinators. It didn't matter, but he's running out of rabbits out of his hat, bro. I mean, that's what I think, man. I hate to say it, but that's what I think we're witnessing.
I think did the AP poll just drop? I'm with Mike from Kentucky talking about Coach Saban. Yeah, here is okay. Here we go. I'm gonna pull up the AP poll real quick because it just came out. Give me 1 second. You're looking at the AP poll. This is on the AP polls website. You guys see that? Let's see if I can. Here we go. And you have up at the top, you have Georgia. We got an ad right there. Let me close that. You got Georgia up at the top. And this is just fresh out, Mike. Stay with me. You got Georgia, Michigan, Texas, and Florida State. So playoffs started today from the AP poll. Those teams would be playing. Okay. Florida State down 1 after they survived Boston College 31-29. Number 5 is USC. Defeated Stanford 56-10. You got Ohio State. You have Penn State. You have Washington. You have Notre Dame. Number 10 is Oregon 3-0 after beating Texas Tech 38-30. You have Utah. You have LSU. And you have Alabama, who is down 3 spots after defeating South Florida 17-3. And then behind Alabama is big bad Oregon State. So that is the AP top 25. Back to you, Mike. Thoughts on Alabama being ranked 13th?
I'm not surprised we dropped. Dude, we played a horrible team yesterday and barely got away with it. Something's bad wrong. So, I mean, it's wrong. I mean, the play calling offensively is horrible. They need to dial something up that fits Jalen Milroe and put him back in the game. I mean, why can't they do a rollout or something? The linebackers are going to overreact and drag the tight end in behind them in the vacated space. Do something. But I mean, I haven't even seen. Our offensive line's like smoke going through a screen door. Mm-hmm. So how do you stop linebackers? You throw a slant. I ain't seen a slant pass thrown in 3 games. I mean, I can draw plays up better than that dude. And I don't even resemble a football coach, but they're not. We're failing across the board, and it's not just the players. It's everything. Our whoever's doing the recruiting's not looking too smart either. These kids ain't panning out, or they're not getting coached right. I don't know. I mean, I'm about to go fishing. That's what I'm about to do. And I ain't coming back till things change in Tuscaloosa. We dropped 3 home games this year. The winds of change are going to start blowing in Tuscaloosa. Nick Saban or no Nick Saban. We won titles before Bear Bryant. We won titles after Bear Bryant. We'll win titles after Nick Saban. It's nothing lasts forever. And that's where I'm at this point. And unless something just, but I'm not expecting it to, bro. I mean, we're looking like a 7-5 team this year. That's what we're looking like. Bama ain't been like that since Mike Dubose coached them. Football ain't everything. I ain't gonna let it get me down as like it might sound. But I got a great family and a great life, and I got a lot of things to be thankful for. But dadgum, we're looking like the Mike Dubose era. I'm out, Kyle. I'll holler at you later, bro.
All right, take it easy, Mike. Appreciate you calling in. Mike in Kentucky. If you guys just missed it, Alabama's ranked number 13th in the AP poll. Hey, another homework assignment for you guys while I'm doing the show. When was the last time, excuse me. When was the last time that Alabama was ranked outside of the top 10 poll? Can you guys look that up? The statisticians that we have on this show are great. So if you guys could look that up, when was the last time Alabama was ranked outside of the top 10? Oh, Justin Wood. Thank you, Justin. Saying 2008. Wow. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Sorry I missed you before, man. 2008. Where were you in 2008? Holy cow, right? What were you doing in 2008? That was a long time ago. Thanks, Justin and Bama Jeff with that. Appreciate you guys. All right, we go back to the phone lines, and we got a 205, and we'll start right now. Hey, welcome to the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, or where are you calling in from?
Cameron from Tuscaloosa.
Cameron, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining the show, man. Take it away.
I just think that I honestly believe you start Miro, they're just gonna blitz him every trip. I don't think that's gonna work either, especially this week coming up.
Are you there? Go ahead, man.
And the quarterbacks we have, we just don't, like the other guy just said, we don't have any really good passing quarterbacks, in my opinion, either. And the offensive line, yes, is bad, terrible. Can't stop nobody. Not even a nosebleed.
So who do you start on Saturday versus Ole Miss?
I honestly would just try the fourth string at this point.
You just throw in Dylan Nunn again?
Just throw him in the game.
Right? I mean, everyone has been talking about him. Wouldn't that be crazy if he comes in and he's just completely balls out and be like, what the hell, it took us 3 weeks to figure this out? So I don't know if we're ever going to see Dylan Nunn again or not, but I mean, shoot, might as well give him a shot too. I don't know. I mean, but I think you got to start Milroe. That's my vote. I know it posted in the comment box, but I'm just asking everybody since it's relevant. Look, Ty, I think he is going to get there. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think. But then again, we just saw such a small sample size, and the offensive line is so, they're playing like crap. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Simpson's better. Maybe it's on Reese. I have no idea. What else, man? What'd you think of the running game? It looked like, that was, they got going kind of there in the second half.
Yes, the second string, in my opinion, the second string running back is better than the first string.
Yeah, Roydell Williams.
Yeah, Roydell Williams. I think he's better than McClellan.
He might be. I mean, I think he might. I have to look at their pass blocking grades because that's an important part of this as well. But Roydell Williams, the thing about him, he runs downhill. He runs hard. I mean, they both run hard. Roydell Williams is stout, no doubt about it. He's a very talented running back, and I think the more of him we see, I don't think anybody's going to be upset about it. I mean, the guy's a grown man. He's built like a rock, and he's tough, man. I mean, over 100 yards yesterday. I thought certainly he'll be the Alabama Offensive Player of the Week, 100%.
Yes, he doesn't really impress me this past Saturday.
Yeah, no, he's good, man. He's 100%. What else, man? What else you thinking when you look at this squad kind of going into this next matchup against Ole Miss?
Like I said, I don't really see anything changing. I'm already looking forward to next season. Honestly, I'll be watching Colorado. Colorado looks promising, and I think they can beat Bama right now.
That's a good poll. That would be a good. Okay, here. How about this? I'm gonna put this up. Okay, who wins right now? Next week, if they play next week. Okay, who wins? Colorado or Alabama? Seriously,
I'm going with Colorado. From what I saw, I definitely believe.
Just right now, if Alabama is playing instead of Ole Miss, they're playing Colorado. Who are you taking? Post inside the comment box. Who wins that game? But is Travis Hunter healthy? People saying Bama. I think Bama.
Well, you got a point. You got a point there.
Yeah, I don't know. People are saying Colorado. It's kind of split right now. Somebody take a straw poll. Hey, I got to move to my next caller, man, but I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for the poll, Cameron. I appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, take it easy. Cameron calling in from Tuscaloosa right here in beautiful Tuscaloosa. Got a 256, and we got a 205 and a 419. We'll get to you guys in just a second. I think there was I want to get to a super chat that we had. Hey, Mr. B205, appreciate it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel Saban played Buckner and Simpson so people can see Milroe is QB1 and see he isn't the issue. It's a method of his madness. Diabolical. You imagine if that was kind of the setup, that Saban just puts out, these two quarterbacks just to kind of, he played chess on the back end? Is that what he's doing? Do you guys think that that's accurate? Look, he had to give those guys opportunities. He had to play Buckner and Simpson because he's looking for that consistency. Buckner got in, he pulled him out. Simpson let him ride it out, got the dub. And it was good to see Simpson, honestly. I think that's a guy who's been patient. He stayed away from, complaining on social media and stuff like that, waited his turn, came in, threw a nice rock, got the dub, got out of there. Now it's up to the coaches. What do we do going forward, and how do we beat Ole Miss? Can Ty Simpson beat Ole Miss? Do we have what it takes to stop Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin? I think so on the defensive side. I personally, I kind of like the defense. But the offense, man, it's just so sus, right? I appreciate the super chat. We go back to the phone lines, and we go 256 to start it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Chris from Alabama. How you doing?
Chris, you said?
Yes, I'm sorry. Chris from Alabama.
Yeah,
how are you?
Yeah, good, man. Take it away. Welcome to the show.
All right. I know everybody's been talking about the offensive line and talking about the starting quarterback and everything, but I want to kind of stick my neck out a little bit and say a couple of things. All right, our offensive line is pretty much what it is at this point. Now, that's just what I think. We got to find ways. Forget about the quarterback right now. We've got to find ways to protect the offensive line, and I think there's a couple of different ways to do that. One, I know Saban's always been married to a one-back system, but if we could put two of our really good running backs back there in the backfield and do a max protection, that'll help the offensive line out a lot, and I think it gives another check down or an out, an oh crap route for whoever is at quarterback, no matter who's in there. I think you're right. I agree with you and a couple of the other callers. We need to get the ball out to the flat a little bit more. I did like seeing that Saturday in the game, and changing the surface on the line of scrimmage. Believe it or not, that affects the pass rush a lot too. When you've got tight ends chipping defensive ends and different things coming out for patterns, those things actually help out a lot. So right now we've got to protect the offensive line. And the other way I think that we can do that, we've gotten away from zone blocking schemes and different things where the offensive line has to work together in the run game. But we need to change up some of our play action off of, the linemen actually firing off coming upfield instead of pass setting where we're getting beat up so bad. There's some run and shoot concepts and different things to where, think Johnny Manziel, at Texas A&M back several years ago, putting him out in the flat and just having simple route concepts to where he's making, 1 to 2 reads, throw to the open guy, and if he's not there, keep running and go pick up yards. Those are some things that I think we can do no matter who's in at quarterback, because a lot of these guys have the same skill set. It's just who can do, who gives you the best shot. Now, I don't necessarily think that me personally, I don't necessarily think that any one of them at this point is better than the other one. But I think we need to go back and at least change these things up to where we've got to stop going from, spread drop back passing and then the next play lining up with a tight end on the field and running the ball. It gets very predictable by formation. I mean, it gets extremely predictable by formation what your tendencies are. So those are some things that I think can kind of fix everything, but forget about the quarterback right now. We've got to protect the offensive line and give whoever's back there enough time to be able to do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. That's what I think about it. Those are some overall concepts, and I think it's very doable.
Mm-hmm. I do like the 2-back set idea. Roydell and Jace back there. Although Jace is I think his pass blocking grade was lacking, but then I was going to say Jan Miller. I don't know, but I get your point. You know what I'm saying? You're adding extra protection for whoever the quarterback is in there. And I do think the formation sometimes is a big tell for this team. For example, like when you have Robbie Oots in there, you know exactly what's going to happen, as an H-back. So,
right.
A lot of this is on Reese. I just think like we've been, kind of grilling the quarterbacks and rightfully so in the offensive line because the stats have been there. But like the offensive play calling has just not been it through these first 3 games. And I get it. There's no consistency. Things are in haywire at the quarterback position, but just feels like we don't know what the hell this team is doing. Right? Are they a running team? Can they throw the ball? Sometimes Jalen Milroe goes over the top, then he throws an interception. Then they run for over 100 yards,
right.
Over 240 yards yesterday. It's like, I'm confused as you. Someone said in the comment box, I think it was Case, said that everyone's tripping out, that they're just basically this is what he said. He's like, you guys are so negative. We played non-starters. We're running no special plays. We were trying to prep for Ole Miss. Playing a little chess out there, right? Just kind of not showing what Alabama has. I like that. And then Chad asked me a question.
I can understand that.
Right? Yeah. And then hold on real fast, Chris. Chad's like, thanks for the question, Chad. He said, Kyle, can't call in right now, but answer this. What did Ty tell you that I was questioning his ability? He protected the ball, made plays. I was proud with him throwing underneath on 3rd and long. Yeah. I think for me with what I'm not necessarily co-signing on Simpson just yet is the pocket presence. And I get it. Like a lot of that was on Caden Proctor because that was, 2 of those were on Caden Proctor. But I felt that he just didn't, right? Like that, like those were on Caden Proctor. But I thought that there was a couple times where he should have gotten the ball off a little bit quicker. I thought some of his throws, were kind of, they just weren't accurate enough. And I think the other thing too was it seemed like he needed a lot more prep from the sidelines. Like if you go back and do the rewatch, Chad, he's just looking at the sideline the entire time as the play clock is like clicking down. So I don't know if that's like, if they need to click him up speed. Look, maybe they can fix that with just him repping the ones. And then maybe that will kind of, help facilitate that.
I think he was doing a lot of checks with me.
Right? Yeah. He was kind of just like
I think he was doing, yeah.
And that's kind of interesting because
a delayed point.
Okay, well, I'll get with you on the other side, Chris. Call in again later tonight or whatever. We could wrap it up more. But I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much. I really do. And I don't know, maybe you solve that with just having him completely run with the first teams this week, right? Like, just that's it. He's a starter. None of this back and forth stuff. And you got to think that Alabama did have him run with the ones a little bit because what if things don't work out with Buckner? And then if Milroe really was suspended, then he is the number 2 quarterback after Buckner. I don't know. But I think that I do like some of the things that Simpson did 100%. I mean, he throws a great ball. I do like his athleticism. I just right now, I like from what I've seen to beat Ole Miss, I think you got to have Jalen Milroe in there. Like I don't know. I know you guys think he's a turnover machine, and he might well be, but I know it's going to be a street fight. And that offensive line is not going to protect anybody, whoever it is. So you might as well put the best athlete on the field out there. Okay, we go back to the phone lines at the 205. We start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Uncle Charles, man? What's happening, man?
What's up, Uncle Charles, man? That was anything. I don't know. There was a lot of screaming. There's a yelling. I saw someone on Twitter said that they punched their TV. I mean, people were frustrated, Coach.
But let me tell you something. Let me whoever did that, let me tell you something. If you went and bought that TV, don't destroy your stuff. Because this is, you can get ready to destroy your TV, your living room, your bedroom, and your back room. You can destroy all that because it's going to happen. It's going to happen real soon. Let me tell y'all, let me school my Alabama family on something. Listen to me very carefully, y'all, because see, I'm only said this maybe 2 or 3 times. Let me say this to you. These children, these young folks are not the same anymore. We're dealing with new generation of kids. Listen, they want to hear DMX. They want to hear Jay-Z. We ain't going nowhere. We're right here. What? That's what they want to listen to. Look at Deshawn Sanders back there in Colorado. He's playing theme music, getting the young men hyped up. They get them ready to go out to the field. The standard that Nick Saban set, it's not a bad standard. It's not. But each year carries a new generation of kids. You have to understand that maybe Hightower and them understood his brand of coaching, but these kids are not. You got children flying planes and they ain't got no airplane license. They up in the air. Here you got a little boy, 6 years old, took police on 6 county run, and then they asked him, where you going? I'm going to the movie. To the movies, you already in the movie. These children are different now. These children are different now. Let me tell you something. I didn't like what Nick Saban did. I think Nick Saban was wrong. I think he was wrong because after you found out those other 2 wasn't that good, Milroe should have played. But then I hear this talking about he was suspended. Okay, that's under the coach's discretion to suspend a player. But let me tell you something. We got Ole Miss coming to Tuscaloosa, and they don't care who you suspended. They coming to win. They coming to whoop your behind. That's what they're coming to do. And now that you're in the water and the blood is in the water, the sharks are circling. And everybody going to take a piece of you each week. So, Coach, I'm sending you a message. You're a good coach. You'll always be a good coach. But sometimes generations pass you by. That's all. He's 75 years old. So I don't see Nick Saban going on a 10-mile hike. I don't see that. I ain't seeing that. Not from no 75-year-old. Maybe these children are different. Maybe they need a different kind of coach that speaks their language. Because now you got 6'7" elementary basketball players, and there's a recruiter over there, and they ain't even hit college yet. And this is what it is right now. I'm gonna say this in closing. Times have changed, y'all. My great uncle, Uncle Sam, he couldn't see. He was wheelchair bound, and he was sitting in his front room. He heard some noise. It was a burglar trying to come through his room. But good old Uncle Sam had something for that burglar. He had some broom snuff. And if you don't know what broom snuff is, that's that hard snuff. It'll start your car. It will paint your house. It's all purpose. That's what it is. And he spit at that woman, and the snuff got in his eyes. And you know what that burglar said? Instead of for him saying, I'm going to get away from him, he said, please call the police. Now, what burglar you know that commit a crime, beg for the police to come get you? Things don't change, y'all. Things don't change. Maybe Nick Saban, what he's preaching, maybe what he's coaching is not for this generation of children. That's all I'm saying. And maybe some might agree with that. Maybe some might not agree with that. But I'm going to tell you, you finna find out. Times have changed. These children are creating brands, and they ain't even 5 years old. So you got to adjust to that, and you got to play to the narrative. Hey, how can I get these young men, how can I get these young ladies to buy into what I offer? This is what Deion Sanders doing. He have laid out a brand for them to buy into it. What Nick Saban is preaching is not wrong. It's good. But maybe he needs to change his way of doing things because the generations have changed. That's all. Now, I know people going to say, this is a crazy man, but that's all right. You can call me crazy. And you know why you can call me crazy? Because you over there and I'm over here and you can't do nothing about it. And that's all I got to say, y'all. I'll be back to see.
All right, Uncle Charles, the call. Branding, the branding has times changed so much that has impacted the on the field play, right? Uncle Charles coming with it. That energy. Can you imagine having that type of energy in your life? That's what I need. Some Uncle Charles. I appreciate the call. One of my favorite callers, man. I mean, just the breakdown and the analogies that he has is super unique. I love it. What do you think? I mean, Uncle Charles, has the game in terms of the branding and terms of the direction of college football, especially with all the notoriety that Dion is getting, you think that is really spilling over into the locker room here in Tuscaloosa, into other places in college football? Can you keep up with that? Has it passed Coach Saban by? I don't know. Certainly hasn't impacted the offensive line play. I think that's just putting the wrong guys out on the field. And that's the offensive line coach is Eric Wolford. He's the one that has established this offensive line. And he is the one who has recruited some of these guys. And I think the finger needs to be also pointed at Eric Wolford, Tommy Reese, some of these guys who are in the coaches' positions. That's why, like here at Alabama, you don't get to talk to any of the assistants. So Coach Saban, and which I found really weird because we get to talk to the players. Like Jalen Milroe after Texas, we had to talk to him. Purdue comes out after he's thrown 2 interceptions and he has to answer questions. They weren't completely hard-hitting questions, but still, can you imagine? That sucks. You have to come out here and be like, yeah, threw 2 interceptions, cost the team, the game. But none of the coaches have to come out. The coaches, Tommy Reese and Kevin Stilson should 1,000,000% come out to answer questions. Tommy Reese should come out right now. Honestly, we should be able to talk to the assistant coaches 100%. That would take a lot of pressure off Saban, so Saban doesn't have to, take all that heat from the coaching spot. I mean, I get it; it's his program, but still, if we can talk to the players and ask them, we should be able to talk to the OC and DC 100%. And you can at other programs, you just can't here at Alabama. It's something that I just don't agree with. Go back to the phone lines and 419. Let's get it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hi, this is Deshawn from Ohio again.
Hey, what's up, Deshawn? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show. Take it away.
All right. I'm going to start off with this. Shout out to the defense. They played fantastic. We played the worst quarterback I've ever seen in the sport of football. He's doing a Dak Prescott pregame, and then you go out there and go 5 for 14. And these are easy passes. These players are wide open. I told you when I called in the other time, Tyler Buckner's not it. He needs to be at, like, the bottom of the depth chart. Like, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be mean to him, but it's like you couldn't win your job at the team you're at. So I don't think you coming over here is going to make any difference, you and your coach. We have all running quarterbacks, and we're trying to play them like they're Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. They might want to go take a look at Baltimore and see what they do with Lamar Jackson with these running quarterbacks. We have run, explosive pass type of quarterbacks. Ty didn't play bad. He's just young, and the line is just atrocious. So I think we should go with Milroe because what I see from Milroe, he wasn't mad. He was cheering his guys on. He was being a leader. And I definitely think with this offensive line, we're going to need that escapability to get things done. We're in trouble. But what I do not want to see is Tyler Buckner, number 8, take field for us ever again. Son, you're not it. 5 for 14, 34 yards, and you're supposed to be a 5-star quarterback in the NCAA? It's unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable. I was disgusted last night, Kyle. And that's it. That's it for me. I just was all in discussion last night.
Hey, Deshawn, before you bounce out, I know you're calling for Jalen Milroe, but, Todd Simpson was able to, end the game, and we saw some good things from him, in a small sample size, right, against South Florida, I know. But do you think did you like what you see from him? And do you feel that he's capable to, win an SEC game coming up this weekend? Do you think he has it in him? Or do you think what's your take on him?
I think you should play him. Mm-hmm. I think what happened was they put him in a situation to where he was playing hero ball, like, oh, go win us the game. This guy sucks. put him in, go win a game. No, give him a real shot. Let him get full with the ones. Just let him get his confidence. Let him see. Just let him see what he can do. Let him be under the lights where it's his offense, not trying to pick somebody up slack. I want to see what he can do. But if he doesn't cut it, just play 2 quarterbacks. Just play him and Jalen Milroe. Let him be a passer. Bring Jalen Milroe in and let him be Lamar Jackson 2.0. Just let him run all around the field and throw the deep ball. That's all we got. But I don't want to see Tyler Buckner no more, Nick Saban. And this is me talking to you, Nick Saban. I do not want to see Tyler Buckner on the field for us unless he's holding the ball for field goals.
On the line with Deshawn from Ohio calling, and we got a super chat from Chris. If Uncle Charles is right, why is UGA a 2-time national champ? Kirby is doing what Saban taught him. Kirby's also, he's younger. Georgia also kind of has that flash, that allure that I think, people are probably a little bit drawn to. They're kind of like the new thing, right? The new flash, so to speak. Although with that said, they do copy every single thing that Alabama does. So, I don't know if they're doing anything that game-changing. But you're right. Like Georgia, is doing it. They were down yesterday, but I think the thing is, the quarterback, the offensive line. But still with that, Georgia's maintained that defensive level. Although I like Georgia's defense, so I don't know what the hell's going on. That said, Georgia was down yesterday to South Carolina. So I don't know, man. Appreciate the super chat. Anything else, Deshawn, while you're on?
Ty, if you ever see this video, do what we all want you to do. Be the savior. Please. That's all, Kyle.
All right, man. Take it easy, man. Appreciate you calling in, Deshawn. Roll Tide to you. All right, Deshawn calling in. We got a 615 and a 470. I'm going to break here at the top of the hour and go Buffalo Wild Wings and go watch the 49ers and the Rams. Alabama is ranked, but I will be back 6:30 for my evening show, and then we'll go heavy on it. So I'm going to eat some wings, chill with my son. I got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I got my mom's in town from New Mexico, so we're all hanging out. And, she's helping me watch them while I was in Tampa. I appreciate that. Let's see. I go back to the phone lines, and we go 615. Let's get it. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, hey, what's going on, man? This is David from Nashville.
I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the show.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, man, but we fam here. We've talked plenty, man. So what's on your mind, man? Take it away. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm not throwing shade on Deshawn. That was a good call, but I can't lie. I didn't know where I was in the queue. I was a little afraid I was going to have to follow Uncle Charles, and that's a scary thought. But Deshawn did a good job. So I got a few thoughts to throw out at you. Number one, was I the only one? I swear, at one point in the game, I had to question. I thought, have I fallen asleep? And I'm literally having a bad dream. Like this, that's how much I thought, well, this isn't real. Like this isn't actually happening. I know that we're not tied with USF. I was like, maybe I did. Maybe I fell asleep. And I'm like, no, I'm awake. I'm eating food right now, watching this game. And at one point I was like, did I don't know. Anyway, that blew my mind. I'm kind of like you. As far as just the quarterbacks and everything else goes, I think we are kind of being prisoners of the moment. I think everybody has kind of just reacting to whatever the instant tells us to react to. We come out of game one, we're like, Jalen Milroe is awesome. He's killing it. And he did great. And then we come out of the Texas game and we go, Jalen Milroe is garbage. We need somebody else. And then we watched last night and we're like, we need Jalen Milroe. We're going to lose every game without him. And I think the fact of the matter is most everybody, I think if we all stop and kind of calmly think about it, I think we would all agree no one is, well, okay, Tyler Buckner, God bless him, he had a bad game. But let's just say Ty Simpson and Jalen Milroe. Like those two, you could make arguments for either. I don't think either one of them are just light years obviously better than the other. The way that I kind of look at it, and I like both guys. I'm pulling for both guys. I will support whoever wins it. The way I kind of look at it is the one thing that I keep hearing about Ty Simpson is, look, the guy's got a lot of potential. He's young. He's got a lot of talent. He just needs more time. And so he's fresh. He's young. He just needs more time and experience, and he could probably be a really solid quarterback for us. So my thought is, I'm like, okay, well, what if I told you that I gave him all spring with the ones, and then I gave him all fall with the ones, and then I gave him some time in the summer with the receivers, and then what if I put him in a few games and like a couple of big games and like let him start? Like, what if I gave him that kind of experience? And you would be like, yeah, that's exactly what he needs. I'm going, well, that's exactly what Jalen Milroe has had.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Milroe has had that exact scenario. So, and I'm not, again, I don't say that hate on Jalen Milroe. I think he brings a lot to the table, and I do think Jalen Milroe has a lot of potential. But I don't think that sometimes we process it in that way. Jalen Milroe has had all the things that we say Ty Simpson needs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not all the things, but he's had some time. So that's a thought on that. Who in the world, I'm going to pivot real quick. Who in the world do you think should be our starting offensive line? Like, if you had to pick 5 guys, who would you pick?
Let me put up the Pro Football Focus grades real quick. I would go.
I mean, on the whole team.
Yeah. No, I got that. Let me put up the grades real quick. Oops. Let me see.
I don't have an answer to that question, by the way. I genuinely, at this point,
here are the.
I'm like, hey, I hear Olas Leeman's doing great. What?
Here are the Pro Football Focus grades from the last game against South Florida. Pass blocking grades on your far right. So what I would do is see if J.C. Latham can play on the left side. So you go with J.C. Latham. I'm doing like a complete. We're redoing all this right now. We're gonna resurrect all this. So we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go J.C. Latham on the left. We're gonna go Tyler Booker on the left. We're gonna go Terrence Ferguson. No, we're going to go Seth at center, Terrence Ferguson at stay with me, okay? Someone write this down. JC Latham at left, Booker at left. Let's go either Darian or Seth, whoever wins that battle at center. Let's go Ferguson. Let's go at Ferguson at guard. And I don't know. Let's just go through the roster and see who we can go at right tackle. I don't know.
I 100% agree with all that.
Right? Like, let's just load up that left side with everything we got, and let's just go heavy. And look, if that's the strength, then come with it. And you know that left side is going to be dominant, and you know that Booker's out there, and you know that J.C. Latham is out there, and shit, if we have to run to the left side, then so be it, right? But it's like we at least
and at least the quarterback, is facing the other way.
Yeah, exactly. At least we have 3, qualified offensive linemen to the left. And then the right, okay. Jalen Milroe, can you see those guys on the right? Okay, don't let them hit you. Yeah. You're protected on this side. Bomb it or get the hell out of here. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, put a running back next to him. That's 4 eyeballs.
There you go. Then we go back to what Chris said. Put 2 more running backs back there. Put Robbie Oots on the outside, and 2 receiver Isaiah Bond come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, shit.
Yeah,
it's getting dicey. But I mean, something needs to happen because
Ole Miss, I 100% agree.
Ole Miss is coming in thinking that they're beating Alabama 100%. Lane Kiffin is like, this is it. Yeah. This is finally all my tweets have led up to this point, and this is it.
That is exactly. That is a.
And you don't think Pete Golding's coming in? Pete Golding's coming in 100% and be like, "Oh, you guys think about this, Lane. There's no one. Okay, Lane Kiffin wants this game. Imagine Pete Golding. What if Pete Golding comes in and his defense, ironically, is the defense that beats Saban? You know what I'm saying? Head to head.
I can't even.
God, I didn't even think about that.
I can't even think about it. Lane Kiffin has already drafted like 10 tweets and has them set up and ready to go. We cannot let that happen.
They are drafted. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know you have other callers.
Yeah, I appreciate it, David. Well, thanks for calling in.
Oh my gosh. Dude, real quick, I was just going to throw this out. A, where's Malik? Why are we not using Malik Benson more? B, I 100% agree with you about if the players have to get up and answer questions after the game, I 100% agree with you. The coaches should have to stand there and take questions after the game. And C, since we're getting the coordinators like out of the booth, let's just go ahead and take them out of the booth and I don't know, put them on the field. Would that be so hard? Why in the world? Like, I don't know. I'm just, if nothing else, just get them down there. And Coach Sean says this a lot on when he calls in. I agree 100%. They're not in touch with the players if they're like sky high up in the booth. And I don't think that's the place for them to be. I'll let you go, but it's good to talk to you as always.
I appreciate you, David. Thanks, man, for calling in.
Thanks, man.
The thing about it is, so these are the receiving stats right here. This is through 3 games, okay? 3 games. You have Isaiah Bond has 10 receptions. Kobe Prentice has 8. Jermaine Burton has 6. Mario Niblack has 4. Malik Benson has 4. Malik Benson has 4 receptions, right? Jeez. But I'm telling you, like, if anybody wants his game, it is Pete Golding. The guy that Alabama fans wanted out the most comes back in, is able to beat Alabama head-to-head by way of his defense, right? God, oh my God. This is realistic. All right, look, if I didn't get your calls right now, I'm going to take, this will be my last call. So 251 and 404, you guys call back tonight. I'm going to take the 470. This will be my last call for this afternoon, but I'm going to be on, and we're going to go heavy again, starting at 6:30, and, you know, we'll get into it again. So 470, let's get it right now. 251 and 404, call back so you guys don't have to wait on the line. 470, let's do it.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? It's Andrew from Douglasville again. I don't even know where to begin, dude. Just what a crazy game. I think everyone's overreacting a little bit. It was just a weird day in college football in general. I mean, Georgia struggled. I mean, heck, Florida State almost lost at Boston College. I mean, what the crap? Then Kansas State got knocked off by a 62-yard field goal. So it was just a weird day. But I think everyone needs to take a chill pill. It was just a weird – that game was just weird. Just the rain delayed, the rain. It was just a weird, eerie game, you know. I don't know how to describe it. It was just weird, I guess. I just don't think we could get excited to play South Florida. It was just weird, you know. I think our O-line is bad. Obviously, the O-line is just bad. I think we'd be better off pulling some guys off the street, let them play at O-line, you know. Just not aggressive. I think Milroe may be the guy. I think we owe Milroe an apology. I think Milroe definitely gives us the best shot. And like I said, that Texas game, I still believe we could have won. I just believe we just made some mistakes that we did to ourselves. I don't think Texas was the better team. I still think Alabama's the better team. We just did it to ourselves. And I just think yesterday was just a weird game. And I think next week against Ole Miss is going to be the test. So I hope our guys can just be excited and get pumped up to play against Ole Miss. And I don't know if we need to do a 2 QB system or just let Jalen start and see how that goes. I think definitely we got the running back potential, though, so I think we just got to run the freaking football. If our O-line can't hold up, we just got to run the football because we're not going to have time to have a QB sit back in the pocket and pass. That's just not going to happen. So we either going to have to use Jalen Milroe's legs or we're going to run the football and establish the run game so that way it'll make the defense, you know, looking out for the the run game so we can pass, maybe get some opportunities to pass. So the pass, we got to open up the defense and to do that, establish the run game. And all these guys talking about firing Nick Saban or Nick Saban's his touch, just shut up. He's the greatest of all time. And is it hard to maybe communicate to these younger guys? Yeah. But I don't think we should fire. If we fire Nick Saban, what's going to happen? There's no guarantee anyone's better going to walk through that door, and we're just going to suck. So I think, obviously, Nick Saban's going to stay for the foreseeable future. I mean, I think he's going to coach as long as he can. I don't know. It's just a weird season at Alabama. We just can't find our identity on offense. And I think our defense is really good. We got a national championship defense, definitely. I just think if we can fix the O-line and just get something going on offense, just establish an identity on offense, we're going to be all right. So I think next week against Ole Miss at home, I think that's really going to be the test for Alabama. If we can beat Ole Miss, I think that would be really huge. So it's just we got to see what happens against Ole Miss next week. So I think everyone just needs to take a chill pill, and we need to just get ready and focus on playing Ole Miss and trying to beat Ole Miss. And if we can do that, I think we can be all right. Maybe run the gauntlet. But we just got to. If we don't beat Ole Miss, we're done. So just step back, take a chill pill, assess. I think, Nick Saban, and I think at practice this week, they've got stuff to fix. It's not going to be fixable in 1 week, obviously. But I think if we can get some of this stuff fixed and get an idea of the QB position, just get something going, we don't have to fix it completely yet. Just get something going. Just get a little bit stable so we can beat Ole Miss. I think that will help a lot. But I know you got stuff to do, man, and, it's always good to call in. And roll tide, man. What a weird day yesterday. But hopefully next week will be good, man.
All right. I appreciate the call, and you're right. Yesterday was really weird. I'll hit on that, man. But I appreciate it. I'll be back on live if you want to call in or listen later, man. But I appreciate your support, and thanks for calling in.
All right, man. Roll tide, man.
Roll tide, too. Yeah, yesterday was weird. I mean, it was just a weird day. I guess the TV angles, I was at the game. But I guess on TV it was strange, and there was even that one where there was like a hand in front of the screen or whatever. So yeah, it was a weird day of college football. But with that said, it was some of the things that continue to go on. I think Adam in the comment box just said put Buckner at center. Some of the comments have just been hilarious today. I appreciate you guys. There was an old, and just Twitter. God, today, you guys saw the Florida and the guy from Tennessee squaring up right to fight? That was killing me. Someone posted an old photo of, I think it was Joe Namath smoking a cigar. And they said it was Buckner they said it was Simpson smoking a cigar after the game against South Florida. Like, I was seriously dying. I was laughing on the plane this morning just because of all these social media memes. It was killing me. Look, I'm gonna break out. I'll be back at 6:30. Oh, so one more thing. Toby, my boy. You guys know Toby. One of the biggest Alabama football fans in Leeds, Alabama. He just texted me, and he said that Jalen Milroe should start against Ole Miss, okay? So that we had to get in Toby's pick at the quarterback for this coming weekend against Ole Miss. So we'll take more of your calls tonight. We'll have fun with it. We'll go heavy as Alabama turns the page to Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, Pete Golding coming back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats. And if you guys want to become a fan funder, hit the join button. You go to the homepage of the channel, hit join. A thumbs up goes a long way. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson. The reason I go to B-Dubs is because I go with my son. I'm about to put a 49er jersey on. I'm going to go there. I'm going to put a backwards hat on. I'm going to go chill with my son, eat some wings. And yeah, there are better wings in Tuscaloosa, of course, but there's not a better dude to chill with than my son. And that's where they have the 49er game. So make time to be a dad. I'm going to go chill. I'll be back tonight, and we'll get it going on Bama Football on YouTube right here. Have a good time, and I'll catch you guys later.